Hey, Street Talk and other stuff. Mad Dog Mike Knight here, you on this fine Monday morning. And actually, if you're watching it later in the week, whatever morning or afternoon it is, it's a fine day then too, because you know what? This is the last day in March, okay? And the weather has been changing. I got an email from my sister in lives in Michigan earlier today, and she was talking about them having ice storms and that kind of thing. We live in the best part of the world, okay? This is great. All of spring is ahead of us. Fantastic time of year. And I very much appreciate you tuning in today. Now, look, I've got a good guest. I have been trying to get somebody from this organization on for quite some time, but the past president wouldn't do it. But I've got the president of the Greater Wenatchee chapter of Habitat for Humanity, Dave Holtz, on my guest today. This is a great organization. You're going to learn some cool stuff today, hopefully stuff you didn't know. But you stick around. Street Talk and other stuff. We will be right back. So.
NCWLIFE's news team is keeping an eye on North Central Washington. Join us each weekday evening at 5, 6, and 10 for the NCWLIFE Evening News, with interviews, in-depth reporting, and the kind of insights you can't find anywhere else. We're the hometown news station for the Wenatchee Valley, the Cascade Foothills, and up and down the Columbia River. Thanks for watching NCWLIFE, proud to be part of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, brought to you by the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. The Chelan Douglas Land Trust and the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is bringing back Pets and People Outdoors on Saturday, April 5th. It's your chance for pet lovers and hiking lovers to get together and experience the beauty of our trail system. The event begins and ends at the Kenzie's Landing Trailhead and features giveaways, coffee and baked goods for sale, classes, and a costume contest.
Street Talk and other stuff, and I'm very happy to introduce my new buddy, David Holtz. David, nice to meet you. As I said before, I met your wife, Wendy, when we were both doing the Laramie Project together for music theater. I hope you guys saw that. But hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Mike. I really appreciate it.
All right, now you are the president of the Greater Wenatchee Area chapter of Habitat for Humanity, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, cool. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know?
For my day job, I work out at Alcoa. I'm still out there, involved a little bit with the demolition, but mostly doing work for other Alcoa locations around the country.
Okay, so you travel quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
all right. So, and how long have you lived in Wenatchee? Okay, because you said you're originally from...
Originally from upstate New York.
Okay, homie, East Coast boy. So you know what real pizza is, then.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. And one of the things I really miss about New York.
Oh, you tell me, oh my gosh, don't get me started.
So, yeah, I've lived in Wenatchee about 27 years now.
Oh, cool. Great.
So I consider myself almost a local.
Yeah.
I love it here. Once I got out here, I never wanted to live anywhere else.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I moved out here when I was 19. So, okay, so and you and Wendy have a couple kids.
We do. Tim is 16 and Emily is 14.
All right.
Enjoy them a lot.
Okay. So, Habitat for Humanity. Now, a lot of people know about this organization in one way, but locally they might, but something that former President Jimmy Carter was very involved in. I mean, anytime they mentioned Jimmy Carter, they showed him with a hammer in his hand. But tell us about Habitat for Humanity. Just give us some understanding about the organization.
So Jimmy Carter was a fantastic ambassador for Habitat.
Yeah.
People even think he founded the organization because he spent a lot of time with them. He did get involved pretty early on. Habitat was founded by a couple named Millard and Linda Fuller.
Okay.
And they built their first house in 1973, and they did some work overseas. And they came back and they said, hey, we're going to make this an international thing. We're going to found this organization and go for it. So in 1976, they founded Habitat International in Georgia. So also ties to Jimmy Carter there because he was obviously a Georgia native. And Jimmy Carter got involved in the organization in 1984, post-presidency, and ever since was a tremendous ambassador. Really grew the organization, brought a lot of attention to it. So we're forever grateful for his presence.
Okay, so what is the purpose of the organization? What exactly do you folks do?
So one thing I always tell people we don't do, I always start out by that, is we do not give people houses. People think we do that, we don't. So we sell people houses, but we're helping to provide affordable housing to people who are willing to work for it. We're going to partner with them, and we're going to help get them into a house. And in almost all cases, I would say this is the first house they've ever owned. And maybe in some cases, the first house anyone in their family has ever owned.
Okay, very cool. And how long has Habitat for Humanity in this area been operating?
I think they started here in about 1990.
Okay.
So we've got a real good history here.
Okay. So let's say somebody is watching the show and they say, hey, I want to be a homeowner. What would they do to talk to you folks or apply, and what are you folks looking for? I mean, go ahead, go through the process.
Yeah, so the best way is to get on the website, which is Wenatchee HFH, Wenatchee Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, very easy to find. Yeah, very easy to find.
And all the information is on there, contacts for the office, people that you can reach out to, and they can run you through all the details. I won't attempt to do that here. But I will say there are three kind of pillars that we have. So the first one is need. Got to have need, and that's obviously a broad definition. So that can be defined.
I was going to ask you what are you looking at to determine somebody's need?
So in rough terms, 40 to 60% of the median income for Chelan and Douglas County. And I'm not going to tell you what that is because it changes all the time. So call the office; they'll help sort that out. And then, so the first one is need. The second one is ability to pay. So you have to have some source of income, some level of credit, not perfect credit, not a great deal of income, but you have to have some. And the third one is willingness to partner. Need to be willing to put 200 hours of sweat equity in the house. Need to work with the mentor that we'll provide to help learn how to take care of the house, learn how to budget, and be a partner in the process.
Okay, so this is something you mentioned off camera that I want to expand on a little bit. You just don't put people in a house. You mentor them so they're understanding things about paying bills on time, home maintenance, what home ownership, because it can be fairly complicated. Okay, as I well know, with sewers going bad and
I mean, you have to consider. I grew up in a home that my parents owned. I understood what it was to be a homeowner. So when it came time for me to own a house, I was able to do that by myself. But I have to be honest about that, and we talked about this a little bit, that was a gift I was given. That wasn't something that I did for myself. Yes, I did all the things in my case, but I had the example pointed out to me of how to do that.
Yeah, you grew up in a responsible household, so you understood what it was like to be responsible for a home. Okay, all right.
Exactly. So, we feel like we have to provide that for the people who are coming from a background where they haven't had that example. So we're going to give them someone to work with who can help them understand what it is to budget for an expense that you don't have in front of you right now. That you're going to later this month need this money, and so you have to set it aside now. And that there are things like repairs and maintenance that need to be done on a home to take care of it long term.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and this is stuff you are helping people with and helping them understand.
Yep, and help them do all that. That's part of the process. So it's getting them into a house they can afford is part of it, but helping them stay in that house is the other part, because we want them to pay off the entire mortgage,
right,
and own that home outright.
Okay. So let's say somebody applies to you that doesn't have any construction experience or anything. I mean, you say they have to put in 200 hours of sweat equity into the house. What type of tasks will you be giving them? Or
that's a great question.
Are you going to put a hammer in their hand? Or
there are a lot of ways to do it, and it all depends on what their abilities are.
Okay.
But it's very flexible. In fact, you can get your hours by, there are classes offered at, I think Lowe's and Home Depot both offer classes on how to maintain a home.
Yeah, okay.
Very specific things. They'll give you an hour or a half hour on a certain item. And if you attend those classes and get that documented, that can count.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay,
helpful.
all right, okay.
You can go volunteer in the store. We have the Habitat store, which
Downtown.
is on South Wenatchee Ave.
Right.
And that's a great thing that helps raise money for us. It also helps recycle and reuse usable good building materials that are donated to us.
Okay.
And so the store is great. If you haven't been down there, you should definitely check it out. It's a good place if you're looking for a good buy on some used building materials that are still good. It's also a good place to go if you get done with a job and you've got some good leftovers that you're willing to donate. That'd be outstanding.
We donated some doors there a while back, some doors from our house that were no longer needed. So
it does two things. It keeps all that stuff from going in the landfill. It gets it out of your garage, which is great too, and it helps us make some money.
Okay.
So they can volunteer in the store is a way that they can provide those hours, and also they can do the more traditional volunteer either on the build site for their house, which is the thing that we enjoy the most. They can also volunteer on someone else's build if they need to, but we like them to work on the house that they're actually going to live in. And there are so many tasks involved with building a house. I guarantee you, no matter how uncoordinated or not mechanically sound you are, we can find something for you to do that's within your ability.
Okay, all right. So when you provide or are working with a family to get into a home, and are these all new homes, or do you find homes that need to be, remodeled or something? I mean,
we have not to date gotten into remodeling. Some of the larger chapters, like in Seattle, where they have a really large chapter, a lot of builds going on, they have enough going on that they can get into a remodel. We haven't gone down that road yet. I'm not saying we never would.
Okay.
But currently, all the homes that we've done have been new homes.
New homes, all right. So, your involvement, how did you get involved? Come on, go back to the history of this. Who roped you into this? Hey, this is something that'd be really good for you.
I first got involved through Alcoa. We were involved in a Blitz Build Day. A group of us went out, and I thought, this is really cool. I'd like to do more of this.
Okay,
I was excited to be involved with the organization as a volunteer.
It was a work type thing where you were volunteering and you got involved with, you said it was a Blitz build?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a lot of things.
It's like one of those Amish barn raising things?
It is, and it's honestly, it's a great team building activity. If you have a small organization, you say, hey, I'd like to do something with my employees, we can go out and spend the day together, work together, solve problems, crack jokes, have a good time.
Okay.
It's really fun. So that was my first experience.
What did you specifically do, yourself on this Blitz build?
I believe there was a lot of sanding on sheetrock involved. And we don't do that anymore because it's better to have pros do that. We found that out. But because there's a lot of sanding when you have amateurs doing sheetrock.
Yeah, I would imagine, you don't put that mud on right, you got to really... Yeah.
So after that, I've volunteered with some different local organizations, and I was on the board of the local Red Cross chapter for quite a while.
Okay.
And I got to the end of my term there, your term limited, and had to do something else. So I went and talked with our public relations guy at the time at Alcoa and said, hey, what do you have for me? And he said, I got just the thing for you. He says, I'm ready. It's all teed up. So he says, Habitat wants somebody. I said, I'm in.
All right.
And so I went to a meeting. Talked to some people and said, yeah, this is for me.
Okay. So what did you originally do when you first started? What was your, because I'm sure your role was a little different than it is now as president of the organization.
Yeah, so when I first started, I was just trying to find a good way to plug in.
Okay, because you came in at the grunt level, right?
Yes, I came in as a regular board member.
Okay.
And I said, well, what am I going to do? I don't have a background in real estate or banking or construction or a lot of the other things that these people have backgrounds in. And the board president at the time identified that what I did have a background in was leadership.
Okay, cool, man.
And so he said, "Hey, I'm looking to step aside, and I think you'd be a good one for the job."
Who was the president at the time?
That was Don
Dimmitt, my buddy Don. Shout out for Don Dimmitt. Don, you know, I love the guy, and I tried to get him on the show. He wouldn't do it, but he has dedicated a long time, good part of his life, to Habitat for Humanity. So Don, salud, okay? So.
He just recently left the board, and
Right.
he stayed on for several years
Yeah.
after he left the presidency,
Right.
and did so much for this chapter. We're
Yeah,
so
he really
grateful for
did.
his
He really did.
involvement.
It was a real hard thing for him, so
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
good. Okay.
Absolutely.
So he horned you into, being a leader, right?
Yeah,
So,
so he got me into it. So it's been hugely satisfying.
Yeah.
Love everything I do with Habitat. It's so great to be at a home dedication ceremony.
Oh, I can imagine.
Be
Well,
there.
well, hang on. I want to
Yeah.
talk about that because we
Okay,
need to take
yeah.
a break because this
Sure
is
can.
really cool. All right. But look, I'm talking with David Hulse. He is the president of the Greater Wenatchee chapter of Habitat for Humanity. Very incredible organization. Very, 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 very contributory to what's good about this community. But we got to take a quick break. But stick around. Street Talk and other stuff. We will be right back.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at MerryMaidsOfWenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
Welcome to the Gilded Lily home, where something extraordinary is waiting for you. The Gilded Lily offers a unique collection of hand-selected, carefully curated items to help you celebrate all of life's special moments. From the budding chef to the home decorator to that very special occasion, there is an abundance of delightful gifts waiting for you. The Gilded Lily home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items to brighten any area of your home.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and other stuff. Talking with Mr. Dave Hulse. He is the president of the Greater Wenatchee chapter of Habitat for Humanity. Great organization. Now, right before the break, you were starting to talk about how much you enjoy going to a, what you call it, a home dedication? Okay, go ahead. You're on.
The home dedication ceremony is so much fun, honestly, because you get there in the morning before we do the ceremony, and the kids are running through the house, just checking the place out, and they're so excited.
Is this the first time the children, have, if it is a family, have been there?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
all right. You don't let them come around while the construction's going on?
They might have seen it under construction a little bit, but it's usually the first time they've seen it finished.
Okay.
And it's so close. It's the first time that it's probably real for them that this is going to be their house.
Okay.
Because these kids frequently have been living on couch or a mattress in the living room of an uncle's house or something.
Right.
Like they've been in a really poor living condition. So these kids are going to have a bedroom in a house that's theirs, and think about how exciting that would be.
Oh yeah.
You know, something that you and I probably took for granted when we were growing up.
Kind of.
That you were going to have a place that was yours.
Yeah, that is.
So.
It was very important.
And it's really fun to see in the new homeowners' eyes just the satisfaction and the excitement of knowing that this is going to be their house.
Okay.
And that they haven't been there before. As excited as I was to be in a house for the first time as a homeowner, I know it's even more so for them because they haven't even been close to that before.
Okay. So you help the folks not only get into the house, but you help arrange financing, the mortgage, and that kind of stuff. How does that work? What do you?
Yes. So it's special financing. It's zero, nothing down, and we also don't charge interest.
Okay, so you are doing the financing for the mortgage.
Yes, we're handling the financing. We actually have a company that works through Habitat. It's a company that does mortgage servicing, but they do it according to our rules and the way we like to do things.
And these are no interest loans for these folks?
Yes, we're doing it.
See, that I
cost.
didn't know.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's part of how we make it affordable, because obviously with the price of land and the price of building materials in Wenatchee, there's a limit to affordability.
Sure.
So we're not making money on these houses, and we're raising money to help make up the difference on the interest and all of that.
Okay, all right. So how do you design the home? Okay, I mean, what do you look at the family and see what the needs are, or are there set construction plans that you have for different?
Another great question.
Need levels?
Every property is different.
Okay.
So we start by acquiring the property, and that's a difficult thing in Wenatchee, as you know, especially if you have a budget, which we do.
Sure.
And so we try to find a good piece of property that we can put a house on and still have it be affordable. And then we have to think about what kind of house can we build on this.
Okay.
Is it going to be a duplex or a triplex? We've had to do that in some cases to make the property affordable.
Okay.
But each family is going to own their own section of the house.
So you'd be working with two families at the same time. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We're doing that. So and then we're going to think about where we're going to put the parking. So we never like to do garages in the past. We built a very basic house. But we started realizing we need to provide 2 off-street parking spaces for every unit.
Sure.
Well, if you start doing that, it eats up a lot of property. So we started putting garages underneath the house because that's a way to make it more efficient.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So if you go on the website, you go on WenatcheeHFH.org.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to do that.
You can see we've got some plans on there of some of our more recent builds.
Okay.
And so our latest build site, we got a beautiful property that another organization was very kind to sell to us at a pretty affordable price.
Yeah.
On South Wilson Street in Wenatchee, and it's a very unique property because it is 55 feet wide and almost 300 feet deep.
Oh, okay.
It's a garden plot on Wilson, the deep one. So we're going to put actually 5 units on there.
Okay.
So there's going to be 2 duplexes that have the garages underneath that are attached to each other. There's space in between them. And then there's going to be the 5th unit is a standalone. It's going to be a single 4-bedroom, and it's not going to have a garage. It's just more traditional 2 parking spaces behind it. And so that property, that's what we were able to do on there and meet all of the city codes and requirements.
So you're going to be working with 5 families at the same time. Wow. Wow. That's, yeah.
Yes. We're super excited about that.
I'll bet.
And of course, as excited as we are about it, the other side of that is this is a project that we're going to have $1.2 million in by the time we're done.
Okay.
And so this is a big, ambitious build for us.
All right.
We decided to take it on because we thought the opportunity was too good just to serve all these families, to be in a great neighborhood, in a great location in Wenatchee, everything lined up. So we decided to take it on.
So this leads us into...
Yes, currently we are raising money.
Right.
We're starting a big campaign. We haven't had, we're always out asking people, hey, if you like Habitat, please donate.
Sure.
Right now we're going to be kicking off very soon an organized fundraising campaign. We would like to raise over the next couple of years $1 million.
Okay, all right.
To help pay for this build and to help fund the next build as well.
All right, okay. So for this new project that you have on South Wilson Street, do you have 5 families lined up, or?
We do not have all those. We do not have all those units filled yet because it's going to take us 2 to 3 years to build that out.
Okay.
We just started.
Okay. Well, that's exciting news. That's really pretty cool. All right. So what should people be thinking about when they think about Habitat? I know that you need donations. Do you need anything else as far as volunteers, supplies?
So
labor, you know.
Yeah, all those things. So obviously money, if you have the ability to donate, or if your organization or company would like to get involved, absolutely reach out to us. We've got sponsorship opportunities at all levels. We will take private donations, churches, organizations, anybody who would like to provide some funding.
Sure.
That's great. If you're a business, we've got advertising that we can put up as part of the campaign on the Build site and also on some of our other media.
Okay.
If you have good used building materials that have more life left in them, contact the store.
Okay.
And consider donating them, because that will help us raise money, and it'll help you guys get those materials out of your garages and someplace they can be used.
Okay. How about appliances, that type of thing? I mean, is there any need for that, or are you trying to put new stuff into people's homes?
You know, I always tell we wouldn't use things that were used in a new home.
Okay, all right.
But if you have something that you think is good, contact Matt at the store.
Okay.
He is great at either, and the reason I send people to Matt is if he can't take it, because we can't accept everything, because if we can't sell it, then we have to pay to throw it away.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But Matt is fantastic at networking.
Okay.
And if it's not something we need, he'll probably help you find a place for it.
Okay.
So I think it's like one-stop shopping. You go see Matt, and you'll probably have your problem solved. If it doesn't come to us, it'll go to somebody else who can use it.
And I know that Serve Wenatchee Valley, the organization you're familiar with, has their furniture ministry. Do you ever partner with them to help people who just need furniture, that type of thing? So
we do try to network with the other organizations and realize sometimes people come to us who aren't who don't have the right qualifications to be a match with our organization, but we try to get them with somebody else who can help them and kind of share people back and forth. And there's a lot of networking, because this is a small town and we all need to take care of each other, right?
Yeah, big time. All right, so let's say you get this build going up on South Wilson Street, okay? You're the president of the organization. Do you come by and kind of supervise, or do you actually go in and get your hands dirty a little bit? And you can fib here if you want to. Nobody fact checks this show.
It's been a few years since I've been on a build, but I'll be honest with you, Mike. I am really looking forward to in another 5 to 7 years when I can retire from my day job.
Yeah.
And as my kids get a little bit older and are out of the house and I'm not always running to their activities.
Really?
I did a build quite a while ago. It's how we got involved with the organization.
Okay.
I would love to be on the build site more.
Really?
I would love to be out there because it's really fun. And that's another way, coincidentally, that you can help beyond the donation of money and materials, is if you like to volunteer, contact our volunteer coordinator, Alex. He's great at knowing what we have going, and you tell him what you're good at, what you'd like to do, and he'll try to match you up with a good time to be out there.
Okay, so if somebody's a good drywaller, they can call up and say, hey, if you ever need something, you know, I could fill in for a few hours type of thing.
Absolutely.
Right, cool.
If you can swing a hammer or use a saw,
good idea. There you go.
Whatever you can do.
All right, cool. So you talked about doing something more full-time with this 5 to 7 years from now. So this is a long term. You're in this for...
Oh, yeah.
You're in this for a long term. Oh, that's cool. I'd like to see that passion. So.
Yeah, I may or may not be on the board in another 5 to 7 years, but I'm always going to be doing things with Habitat.
Okay.
It's an organization that I really believe in.
All right. But you've been on the board for how long now?
I think it's almost 10 years. It's gone by very quickly.
Okay, cool. All right. And what is the main... Okay, the board meets, and are they the ones who decide, you know, what families you work with, that type of thing? And...
Well, we have a subset of the board called the Family Selection Committee.
Okay, all right.
And so they will meet with the families, review the applications, and they follow a lot of procedures. Most of these people are bankers because there's a lot of rules around this these days that I don't even know about.
Right.
I know that there are rules, but that's it.
Okay.
So they go through that whole process, and then at the end, they bring the families to the board and present them, and then we all vote on them.
Okay.
So that's the process, and we try to be as fair as we can. We look at need and what we have available, because sometimes there's some Habitat rules on the number of children that we have and the ages that they are and what number of bedrooms we need to provide, that kind of thing. So we need to make sure that the house that we have is going to accommodate them, and make sure that their credit is good. And sometimes we do take some chances on people. We've talked about it and say, well, they're a little on the margin here, but say, we need to put these guys in a home.
All right, well, Dave, I want to thank you very much. I appreciate it. Habitat for Humanity, a great organization. If you can help, website's easy to find. Found it myself, and if I can do it, anybody can. But hey, street talk and other stuff. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.